Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar this week. My name is Tanya, and I'm the marketing manager over here at Struxsoft Solutions. So just for those of you who are new with us today, our STAR solution MWF, or Metalwood Framer, is our Revit-based BIM framing solution that allows users to automate Revit walls, floors, ceilings, and trusses in like-H steel and also in wood. Today, our technician, Thais, will be demonstrating how to apply backing members to panels using the backing tool. So she'll be covering when to use the backing tool, how to set up your backing manager, how to add new settings, how to add rules, and also how to apply settings to your panels. So just before we get going, I'd like to remind everyone that at the end of the webinar, we'll be taking a couple of questions that have been submitted through the chat. You can submit questions by typing into the questions tab within the GoToWebinar dashboard. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to hand off to Thais now.
Thank you, Tanya. And hi, everyone. Good afternoon or morning. So today we are, as Tanya mentioned, we're going to talk about the backing tool, which is located here under the tools menu. So this portion here. So basically the difference between this backing tool and the options that we have inside properties is that for this one, it will be based on the Revit families that you have in your project. So for example, if you want to add backing members to your cabinets, you will be basing and applying your backing according to whatever you have in your project. So it is a little bit different than, for example, the bracing tool, which is another tool that we could use to add backing members like that. When you use the bracing tool inside properties, you're dealing with the panel itself. So if you want to apply specifically behind those cabinets, for example, you have to measure yourself and you have to know the location that you're going to apply. So even though you can mass select the panels and change the settings at once, you're still going to have to, the placement itself is going to be different from panel to panel, right? Because in this panel will be in a specific location, and for this one will be at another location. So that's the main difference. For the backing tool, you will not have that issue. It's just gonna recognize where you have your cabinets, and it's going to place there. So if we go inside the manager, you're gonna see that the first dialog box will be for you to see and check off which categories you want to apply the backing members to. So if you could, excuse me, as you can see here at the top, you can also use linked files. Okay, so let's say, for example, all of your furniture is in a separate file. You can link that and use the Revit link. But in that case, I'm just gonna uncheck because I don't think I even have loaded in. So we're just gonna use this as an example, and this is directly in this file. So you just have to search it out here in the categories. What are the elements that you want to apply the backing? So for our example, it's just gonna be casework. So that's what I have here selected, and everything else will be unchecked. So I'm gonna click OK. And then we're gonna see the dialog box for our settings. And what it's how it works is basically we're gonna create some settings and add some rules, which is basically a mapping of where you want to apply those rules on each of the cabinets. So as you can see here on our left, this is where we're going to assign the settings for the backing itself. Here at the center, if I click in the little drop down, you're gonna see that we have a list of all of the family types available in my project. So everything that it's placed in my project is gonna show up here in the list. So I have a base cabinet, I have one for the corner and another one for a regular cabinet. I have the countertop. You can also add backing to the counters as well. you have the upper cabinets and so on. If I click on the table tab, the difference is it's still the same information, but you're gonna see that you have also the count. So it's telling you that this guy here, the base cabinet, the double door one, we have 6 of them in my project. So you have the number of family types that you have in your project. And then here on the left, right, it's where you're going to add your rules. So you're going to associate your settings to your family types. So as you can see, it is based on the cabinet itself. So you can either apply 1 or 2 rules for each cabinet. So first of all, what we're going to do is start creating our settings. So you can move this a little bit in case you want to read a little bit better. You can see a little bit better. So right now, I don't have any settings, as you can see. You can either come here to add, and then it will automatically create a new setting. Or you can come here to the 3 dots. And as you can see, it's the same. You can add a new one through here as well. So if I open up the first one that I created, you're going to see here at the bottom that you can change the name. So you can add whatever naming convention is best for you. For example, let's say we're going to create settings now for the base cabinet. So let's say we're going to create for the corner unit. So I'm just going to type in base cabinet here. And let's say we're going to use the same rule for both the corner one and the regular double door cabinet. So once I change the name, you're going to see it's going to change it here. So it's easier to see afterwards what it means, which element you're referring to in the settings. And then when you highlight the backing members, you're going to come here to the 3 dots. And this is where you're going to set up the backing itself. So as you can see, by default, it's going to place 2 backing members. In case you want to apply only one, for example, you can remove the other one. So let's say I'm going to remove this one. So now I only have 1. And here on the side are my settings. So the most important ones, I would say, is the elevation offset. So this will refer to, and as you can see, I have a little preview here at the back. So every time I change something here, it will update in the 3D view. So if I want to change the offset, for example, my reference will be the top of my cabinet. So it will be the distance between the top going down. So if I want to change this offset, I can set it up here. So let's say I'm going to change to 1 foot. And then as you can see, it updates on my drawing. You also have here the option to change the family. So for this exercise, I added some flat straps. So let's use one of them. But as you can see here in the drop-down list, this is all of your families that you have loaded in your project. So I'm going to use this one. You can also add a different color. So in case you want to highlight your backing and you want to see it in a different color, you can change it here. And we also have a lateral offset, so it will be going sideways in case you need to add an offset. We're going to see an example that will make more sense, but it will basically be adding an offset laterally to the backing members. And then here is the length of the member itself. So you can either choose to add it by value, so you will type in here exactly the size of your backing member. or you can use the by ratio option. And in this case, it will, as you can see here in the little preview, it's considering the actual width of my cabinet. So if it's set up to 1, it will be the exact width of my cabinet. If I change this here to something else, maybe 0.8, for example, it will be a little bit smaller, but considering the ratio, not an actual measurement. So I'm gonna go back to 1. And in this case, you can also set up a minimum and maximum length. So everything that is less, for example, than 1, it will not place. Everything that goes, it will be more than 5, for example, it will not place. So you can set this up as well. So for now, let's just leave to by value. Let's leave it to the default one, just so we can see an example how it would look like. And I only have one. I deleted the other member, so I'm just going to click OK here. And as you can see here in the 3D, let me just change it a little bit. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. You have to select the good side here to place the backing. And as you can see, it's right now it's choosing the front of my cabinet, not the back. So we have to figure out which side is the good one. And this will vary depending on the family type that you're dealing with, the position of the cabinet. So it's not going to be always the same. So you're going to have to just change it here and until you find the right one. So this one, looks good. That one, it's the side that is attached to my wall. So I'm just going to add this rule. So I'm going to click here on, oh, sorry. Let me just change. I want to add to the base cabinet, not the upper one. So let's find the other side again. Okay, so that one looks okay. And I'm just going to click on add here to add my rule to my list. So as you can see, it says here, what is my equipment type, what side it's going to be placed, and which settings we're using. So the base cabinet. So now let's change the second one. Let's create one for our upper cabinets. So again, I'm just going to change the naming here. Let's put as upper cabinet. Upper cabinet. And let's go here to the 3 dots. So again, the same settings. Now we are thinking about the backing members that will be placed at our upper cabinets. So let's leave both of them for now. Let's just change the family. I'm gonna select maybe another family. And I'm gonna leave everything else as it is. And don't forget that you have to change for both of them. So in case you have more than one here, just make sure to click on the second one or third one. Make sure you're doing the changes for that one as well. And okay. And now you have 2 ways of doing that, or adding the rules. You can either come here and add 2 more or 3 more, how many rules you want. And then you can just change it here, change the equipment type, the side. You can do everything through here. Or you can set up beforehand and then add. So this first rule, we did it like that. I just created the settings. I chose the correct cabinet here, and then I added. But if I do that, it works as well. So for example, if I come here, now we're gonna set up for our upper cabinet, the corner one. And again, it also is gonna change here in the side. You're gonna see once I change my side, it's gonna show up here in the 3D view. For this one, I will change it to our upper double door one. And now, as you can see, the side is not good, so I have to change it here. Try to find the good one. Okay, that one is good. So basically what I did here is I added one rule for the base cabinet, just for the corner one. So in case you want to add for the other ones as well, let's do that. Let's go here and select our double door base cabinet. Again, we have to set up the side. Nope. Okay, maybe I missed it. Okay, there it is. Basically, I think it was the last one that I selected. And here, let's change our rule, our setting to the base cabinet one. So what I have here is I have a rule for my corner base cabinet for my double door one, and then I have the same rule for my upper cabinets. And I do have 5 families, so one of the upper cabinets, I think it's a smaller unit. I don't have any rules to that one, so it's just not gonna place anything. And for the purpose of the exercise, I'm just not gonna add it, just so we can see what happens. So once you're done, you can just save and click here to place backing markers. So basically, it will work like a marker. It's going to tell you that how many markers were placed, and this is based on how many cabinets I have in my project. So I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna close. So as you can see, it places a marker behind each one of them. So that's the one, this small cabinet doesn't have any because we didn't add any rules to it. So it doesn't have any settings for backing. And then as you can see for the bottom ones as well, maybe if I rotate, it's easier to see. So it looks like that. I don't think you see that in, you're not gonna see that in the plan view, you're gonna see it on the 3D view. And as any other marker, you can just regenerate. Let me just select the other wall as well. So you're going to regenerate, and then that's when it's going to place your backing members. So as you can see, these are my members. And because I didn't change the length or anything, you're going to notice that they are overlapping with each other because, as I mentioned, it places based on my cabinet itself. So I have 2 units here. So it's going to place one backing for this unit and another one for this one. And if I don't change the length, I don't change anything, the offsets, nothing, this is what is going to happen because by default, it's 5 feet of length. And of course, my cabinet, it's a little bit smaller than that. So it's going to overlap with the other backing members. So out of the box, this is what it will look like. But of course, you can change that in the settings. So for example, if I go back, and the way to change it is always going back to the settings. So we're gonna go back to our manager, excuse me. Click OK. And then let's say I'm gonna open here my settings. I have 2 of them. So let's say I'm going to change this to use the by ratio option. So then I don't have to worry about the length of my backing member. It's just gonna place exactly where my cabinet is, considering its length. So I'm gonna do this to that one, to that rule. And I'm also going to do that same thing for the other rule. So let's change this to by ratio. This backing member as well. Click on OK and save. And now we're going to select the panels again and regenerate. So as you can see, let me just open a section view. I think it will be better to see. Yeah, so as you can see, it places your backing member considering the length of the cabinet itself. So you don't have to worry about, you're still gonna have like two pieces. It's not gonna be a whole piece going all the way through your, behind your cabinets. It's going to be one piece per module. So the other thing that you can do, let's say in case you don't want pieces like that, you want a whole member all the way, what you can do is instead of adding rules to these cabinets, you can just add 2 rules for the corner one and extend your backing. So you will change the lateral offset and the length of the backing member. So let's try to do that. Oh, and before I forget, if I want to delete those, so I'm just going to select these markers and just delete them with my keyboard delete. And if I do that, once I regenerate my panel again, they're gonna disappear, so they're not gonna be there anymore. Just like any other marker, for example, extra verticals, if you delete the marker itself, once you regenerate your panel, you're not gonna see those members anymore. So right now, if I come here and just regenerate, then I'm not gonna have any backing members anymore. Okay, so let's go back there to our manager and let's change the settings again. This time, so let's say if I want to delete everything, I want to change my settings completely, you can remove the rules. So you just have to highlight, click remove, highlight, remove. And once you do that, you're able to also delete some settings here. So if you want to delete those settings and create new ones, you can remove here, but you have to make sure you don't have any rules with those settings. So make sure you delete the rules first, and then you can come here and delete. Or you can also duplicate an existing setting as well. So let's say, for example, I want to duplicate the base cabinet one. And I'm gonna name it as base cabinet, corner, for example, because now we're going to create a rule only for our corner cabinet. And it will make our lives a little bit easier because then most of the settings are already there. For example, the family type that we're using. And then what we want to do is we want to change here to by value and maybe change the length. So let's say if we put 8, I think it will work with 8. And then we have to also change the lateral offset. Because as you can see right now, this is what it would look like. So what we want to do is add an offset. So let's try. And again, this is, you can either measure or just go by trial and error. Let's try 2 feet and 6 inches. And just for the purpose of this exercise, let's change also the other offset. So let's change the elevation offset as well. Let's set this up to maybe 6 inches or 10 inches. No, let's 6 inches. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna click OK here. And I'm going to find here again my base cabinet corner 1. So this one here, and I have to set up the side again. So I think it was 6. Yeah. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for adding a backing that will extend, so it you can use it for the other units, and we're not gonna have any overlapping elements. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna click on Add. And again, if I want to add for the other side, what I have to do is create another rule, and probably the offset that I have to set up, it has to be a negative value. So basically, you will be assigning 2 rules for the same cabinet unit. So let's try that. Let's go here to our, I'm going to duplicate this one again. So this will be the base cabinet corner 2. And the only thing that we're going to change is this lateral offset here, which I think it's going to have to be a negative value. So let's set up like that. You see it changes, but this is because we also want to change the side. So again, now I'm going to select the other side. Maybe it's side 5, no, 8, 9. Oh, there it is. So that's the other side. So as you can see, I'm gonna have one backing there and another one at the other side. So I'm just gonna click on Add again. And as you can see here, for my first, for the one side, I'm gonna have one settings, and for the other one, I'm gonna have my second setting. So I'm just gonna save and click on Place Backing Markers again. So I'm gonna have 2 markers. I'm gonna click on Close. And as you can see, I have my marker here. This is only for my corner cabinet. So for the other ones, I don't have anything. And now I'm just gonna mass select my panels and regenerate. Okay, so let's go to our section view. I think it's better to see. So as you can see, I have here my backing member. So it placed only on the corner and it got extended. We added 8 feet. This offset here is the one that we added as well. So if we measure, I think it's from this, yeah, from the top of the cabinet to the center of the flat strap. So again, this is referring this family type. So that's why it's not considering the countertop. You can still, for your countertop, just add another rule and another backing member all the way through. But as you can see, it's based on the family type that you have. And if we go to the other section view, it's gonna be the same on the other side. Let me just change this. Let's add some transparency here. And to our walls as well. So there is my other member. And as you can see, because I only had, I deleted the other one. By default, we have two, but I deleted one of them, so it's placing just one. If I hadn't deleted the other one, we would see another backing member around here. And if you want to add more, you can always add more as well. So the other options, I'm just gonna quickly mention them. The break backing members, it will break the backing in between studs. So you would get, again, a piece of backing, but it will be split every time you have a stud in between. And the regenerate backing members, this is in case you did some changes. As you saw, you don't have to replace the markers again every time you change the settings. You can just regenerate the backing members in case you need to. But it works also when you just regenerate the panels. Okay, so I guess that's it. So let's go back to Tanya, see if we have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Thais. So as she just mentioned, we'd like to open the floor up to you guys. So if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and type into the questions tab of the GoToWebinar dashboard if you have any questions. And just while we wait for any potential questions to come through, I'd just like to remind everyone that the recording of the presentation will be sent through tomorrow. As always, please feel free to share the recording with any colleagues, as well as if you're looking for the recording a little earlier, you can usually find it at the end of the day across our social media channels as well. All right, I'll just give it a couple of seconds, see if any questions come through. All right, Thais, there's one question. Is it possible to delete a backing member after being added to the panel?
Yes, it is. So you're going to either delete the marker itself. So if you do that, if you delete the marker itself, in case you have other backing members in your rule, in your settings, it's going to delete all of them. So once you delete the marker, it's just going to delete all of them. So once you regenerate, they're gonna disappear. The other option, in case, for example, you did generate it and you got two members and then you realize that you just need one, what you can do is go back to the settings and delete it there. And in that case, you don't have to delete the marker. You just have to change the settings, save, and then regenerate your panels. So for example, oh, that one I only have one. Oh, that one too. Let's try this one. Oh, all of them. Okay, so then let me just add one here. So yeah, let's say you have this condition and you want to delete one of the members, you can just hit remove and click OK and save and regenerate your panels. In that case, then you only get one, but once you delete the marker, it will be deleting all the members. Okay.
Perfect. We do have another question, Thais. Does this work the same for multi-layer walls?
Yes, it works for multi-layer. It should be the same basically, because in the end we're not even selecting the panels, we're just referring to the cabinet itself. So it should work with multi-layer, yes.
All right, perfect. I'm just going to give it another second or so to see if any other questions come through. All right, well, that looks like that's a wrap for today. So if there are any follow-up questions after we close this session, please feel free to contact us. Our contact details as well as a recording will be available tomorrow. As well as if you'd like to set up a one-on-one demonstration, we'll be happy to set that up for you. All right, we'll now be ending the webinar. I just want to say a big thank you to Thais and also thank you to everyone who registered. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.